Here begins the next chapter in the legend of Alea. The 12 Shadows of Ayara. Part 5. The Shadow of Hunger named Love. Chapter 1. The village of laughters that hurt. The village of Iramoji lay on a cliffside overlooking the blood-tinted river Awaka. Once known for its joyous songs and lovers' festivals, now it echoed only with forced laughter sharp as knives, brittle as dried bone. As Alea and Yukam approached, a crowd of villagers stood frozen in merriment. Their mouths were twisted into smiles, but their eyes hollow. A drumbeat rose from the central square. Not celebration. Summoning. Yukam whispered, "Greater than the fifth shadow walks here, and to the longing, born from every time we mistook hunger for love." Chapter 2. The man who loved too much. In the heart of Iramoji sat a shrine shaped like a heart pierced by many needles. There, a man sat draped in red silks, surrounded by lovers, but none touched him. His smile was wide, his eyes glowing gold. He was once Odian, the most loved man in Iramoji. Now, he was something else. "Greater than I fed every ache," he said to Alea. "I kissed every fear. I held every stranger who said I need. And then I could no longer stop." He rose, and from his back sprouted arms made of lovers' hands clinging, grasping, needling. Alea asked, "Greater than what are you now?" He grinned. "Greater than I am Enturu. The one who loved so hard I broke. The shadow who turns affection into famine." Chapter 3. The choice to not be held. Alea was offered a seat beside him. The hands reached for her, tenderly. Each one whispered different names she once longed for: Amaka, who never looked your way; the teacher who told you you're special but only when alone; the healer who smiled while he lied. Yukam spoke with warning. "Greater than if you sit, you will forget the weight of being alone. But you will never know yourself again." Alea stepped forward, her chest aching. But she shook her head. "Greater than not all hunger is meant to be fed. Some must be felt, or we never grow." She placed her palm on the shrine, and it shattered into dust. Chapter 4. The real lover who did not stay. A figure emerged from the dust. A young woman, barefoot, her voice like a song Alea once buried. Alea gasped. Greater than Zinari had once held her hand behind the yam stalls, had once whispered poems into her shoulder, had once promised they would leave their village and run. But Zinari had not stayed, and Alea had never let herself ask why. Now, the memory stood before her, not cruel, not apologetic, just honest. Greater than I left because I was afraid. Not of loving you, but of what loving you would cost us both. Alea wept. Not because Zinari lied, but because she finally believed the truth. Zinari kissed her forehead and vanished. The fifth shadow entered Alea not as pain, but as release. Chapter 5. The tree that remembers every touch. As they left Iramoji, the villagers began to weep. Their laughter ended. Their masks fell. For the first time in decades, the village knew silence again. Yukam gave Alea a bitter root. Greater than eat it, to prepare for the next. Alea bit into it. Memories surged, the time she reached out to comfort someone and was rejected. The time she touched another's hand and they recoiled. The first time someone touched her with no love, only power. Greater than you must carry these, Yukam said. For next you face the shadow of skin without spirit. Alea's fifth mark pulsed. Her body trembled. Her shadow now moved slightly before her, not after. And deep within the jungle, something that once wore human skin stirred and waited.
Here begins the next chapter in the saga of Iliad. 12 Shadows of Ayara. Part 6. The Shadow of Skin Without Spirit. Chapter 1. The Forgotten Skinwalkers. Alea and Yukam entered Ayara, a swamp where the ground wept, and the trees wore cloaks of human hair. The very air buzzed with a low hum, like thousands of mouths muttering beneath the mud. Yukam moved carefully. Greater than this is where the sixth shadow lives. It was once a healer, then a thief, Now it wears skins like clothes, no names, no soul, no truth. Ilea felt her body itch as if her own skin was watching her. A woman approached them. She bore Ilea's face. Ilea's body. Ilea's smile. Greater than you look tired, she said sweetly. Rest. I can walk for you now. Chapter 2, The Borrowed Buddy. Ilea stared at her duplicate. Greater than who are you? The creature laughed. Greater than I am you. But without burden. Without memory. Without scars. I am what people want to see, not what they must understand. Yukam whispered, greater than that is Mbamiri, the skin without spirit. The sixth shadow. It takes what it cannot create. And forgets what it once was. Mbamiri offered Ilea a mirror made of polished bone. Greater than choose. Live without weight, or carry it into ruin. Ilea looked into the mirror. And saw herself scarred, trembling, alive. Greater than I choose to carry. The mirror cracked. Mbamiri hissed. Chapter 3, The Skin Market. Ilea followed Mbamiri through a grotesque bazaar deep in the swamp. The skin market. Here, faceless spirits bartered for identities. A child traded laughter for the face of a dead sister. A soldier sold memories to wear his commander's courage. A mother bought a smile that didn't ache. Mbamiri stood atop a mound of discarded skins. Greater than you see? No one wants to be who they are. Everyone longs for softer stories. Ilea climbed the mound. Held a skin shaped like herself. And burned it. Greater than I will not trade truth for comfort, she said. Mbamiri screamed. And her form began to rot, folding into itself, weeping black mist. Chapter 4, The Burial of the Empty. The market collapsed. Ash rose like fog. From the wreckage, Ilea found a cradle woven from reeds. Inside lay a featureless baby. No eyes. No mouth. But it breathed. Yukam knelt. Greater than that is what Mbamiri once was. A spirit born of abandonment. Forgotten before it could be named. Ilea held the baby to her chest. She sang. A song from her mother, long ago, greater than even if your face is lost, even if your name is stolen, I will know you by your breath. The baby dissolved. And the sixth shadow entered her like a sigh. Chapter 5, The Smile of the Seven. As they left the swamp, the trees bowed. Ilea's sixth mark burned bright and then dimmed, not from weakness, but from acceptance. She turned to Yukam. Greater than how many more must I carry? He replied, greater than you've crossed halfway. The seventh will not test your pain. It will test your joy. The shadow of sweet poison laughter that devours. Ahead, a village pulsed with music and painted faces. And above it all a shadow danced, smiling with too many teeth.